What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's feeling pretty damn festive in here, ain't it? And no, I'm not switching my song. I don't care what you say. But we are live on YouTube. We are live on X. Welcome in, everybody, on both platforms. First time going live on X, so hopefully you guys do enjoy it. We like to go live here on the YouTube channel once or twice a week. So happy to have you guys and happy to have you all joining as well. But all in all, not too bad. This market's looking pretty dang on decent today. We did get some Jolts data coming in earlier, which was pretty solid. What we can see here is that job openings beat expectations. Expected at 7.7 million, came in at 7.1 million, meaning that there is still some opportunity out there in the labor market. It's not collapsing as many people would expect. And I do think that has been mostly, why we, of course, have seen this crypto market start to see some pretty decent recovery. Outside of that, we did also see a pretty decent short squeeze here. One second, let me get this pulled up. We saw a pretty decent little short squeeze that just happened over the last little bit here. $151 million worth of shorts liquidated here in the last hour, $220 million in the last 4 hours, $250 million in the last 12 hours, and a little over $250 million over the last 24 hours. Been a pretty bloody couple hours there for those short traders, which does make a lot of sense. I think as the crypto market was pumping, a lot of people were, as we were starting to hit this little period right here, this little moment in time as we got this rejection, I think a lot of people were convinced that this, of course, was that Fibonacci rejection that would send us back down. I was definitely a little bit concerned about it for sure. And I am still concerned about this general structure, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. But all in all, it was a perfect opportunity for some sort of short squeeze. And that's what the market decided that it was going to do. And so today we're going to talk about this information that we just got from the jobs data. We're also going to talk about the week ahead. We're going to take a look at the liquidation maps, because although this is looking pretty solid, if we do actually look at the Here, you know what? I actually want to look at general liquidation map. Here we go. We can see that things are getting interesting, to say the least, here on the liquidation maps, especially towards, this is crazy shit right here. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on here. And then we're also going to look at the macro structure of Bitcoin. We're going to look at altcoins. We're going to look at a good bit of stuff. Okay, so we have a good bit to get into today. I'll keep you guys updated on it all as per usual. But all that I ask is that you just push that little like button right in the forehead. Just bink it right on the forehead. I always do appreciate it. And if you're on X, give it a share. Let your friends see. But anywho, let's go ahead. Let's not waste any more time at all. Let's jump straight on in. So the first piece of news that we got today was Jolts. As you again can see here, the U.S. job openings beat expectations at 7.7 million versus the expected 7.1 million. Now, quits were also down 276,000 a year over year, with workers staying put. So the translation of these two pieces of data is that more jobs are available and fewer people are willing to jump ship. So even though people aren't quitting their jobs, there are still job openings that are coming open, which is a good sign that people are still hiring. I feel like there's been a lot of people rather concerned recently, saying, AI is disrupting everything. And truth be told, AI is definitely disrupting some markets and some employment markets for sure. But the truth is that there are still job openings. People are still being hired. Human beings are still being used. I think we've all fallen into this warped echo chamber and idea that AI can just replace everyone right now, which this kind of goes to show that it's not the case. And so all in all, I would say this actually is a decent sign, especially for those people who are concerned about the state of the economy. Now, this was a decent disguise, I suppose. Is this good enough information to make the crypto market just absolutely just send for Bitcoin to go up $5,000 in 1 hour? Come on, of course not, guys. We know that this piece of information that we got was solely just a disguise for market manipulators to target some of these short trades. Look at the short trades, guys. Look at this. Look what's sitting above us. $104,000. There's $9.1 billion worth of liquidations. Look at the confidence in these short traders. Look at how all these short traders are sticking to these trades. There's $1.6 billion worth of short trades at $95,000. Guys, that's $800 on top of us. That's $800 on top of us. So with the short traders this confident, with everyone this confident that the market's about to absolutely nuke, well, guess what? Naturally, that is going to be a perfect storm for this crypto market to try to push upwards. Now, does this mean that the crypto market is going to continue upwards? Well, only time will tell. My thesis has remained very, very much the same. I'm not excited about crypto until it gets above 93 to 96K. I've told you all consistently, this is a major zone of resistance. This is the testing grounds. This is where we're really going to test the strength of the bulls here. And until we're capable of breaking above this green box, I'm not getting all that excited for crypto. So yeah, this is cool to see, but the truth is that this is nothing more than a return back up to resistance, and that's all, okay? So yes, this is a good sign, but it's nothing more than a good sign while we're still below this green box. Now, yesterday, I've also told you all that we needed to start paying attention to this structure. You see this, of course, linear uptrend here where we have these linear higher highs and these linear higher lows as well. I told you all, listen, this could be a trap. This could be what many people consider to be a bear flag, which historically looks something like this. Okay. And so because of that, I told you, you need to be very, very careful right now. Matter of fact, I posted that over on X as well yesterday. I said, look, I'm actually concerned about this. And I said, look, while Bitcoin's price is in this structure, you can't be getting too excited. You can't fall for any of the bait. You can't fall for any of the volatility because this structure could look good up until the very second in which it doesn't look good, right? And what that could mean, and that could translate to Bitcoin being like, oh, we're good. We're so back. We're so back. We're so back. Boom, straight to the downside, right? And so while we're in a structure of this nature, which could very easily be considered a bearish flag, you don't want to be getting too excited. And so the two pieces of this puzzle are very simple. Piece them together. We have a green box of resistance sat between 96,000 and 93,000, which serves as a major rejection zone. We are now in that rejection zone at the same time that we are now at the top side of this bearish flag. So what does Bitcoin need to do here? The true test is that Bitcoin needs to be able to break through both of those. We need to cancel out this bearish channel here. We need to break through this liquidity zone. And while we are still in it, you must understand that you need to exert caution because at any given moment, this massive zone of resistance right here could push us back to the downside. And it has all the makings of that being a possibility. For example, look at your 1 hour RSI. Look what that 1 hour RSI is doing right now, guys. Don't fall for this shit. Look at this 1 hour RSI currently at that 77 level. Currently, if we actually look at this, matter of fact, this is just about as high as this thing gets before we do start to see it melt down a little. Now, does that mean that it's going to go down? No, not particularly. For example, we hit this level right here before Bitcoin continued upward. So Bitcoin easily could push back up to say 96K. That's possible. But on this 1 hour RSI, when you start to see these overextensions, you got to understand it took a lot of momentum to get here. If you look at that 1 hour Bollinger Band, we are now sat outside of the Bollinger Bands, just like we were back here, just like we were right here, just like we were right here, just like we were right here. In all these instances, we were getting very close to some sort of short-term peak. You look at your 4 hour RSI. Your 4 hour RSI is now also back at that overbought region, currently at the same level that we were at right here, the same level that we were at right here, back at this previous high right here, and same at the level that we were at right here as well. So what does that mean? It means that we are now putting in the same sort of structure that we have the last couple of times that we saw that big rejection to the downside. And so that means that Bitcoin is at risk of seeing some sort of capitulation and some sort of pullback. And the only way that we can really mitigate that risk, to cancel out that risk, to put us in a spot to where this doesn't occur again, this doesn't occur again, is by breaking through the structure. Because every single time that Bitcoin's price has attempted to break through this exact sort of structure that we are in right now, it has failed since October of 2025. We saw it fail here, we saw it fail here, we saw it fail here, here, and here, every single time. And so what we need to see from the Bitcoin price right now is that it is able to start breaking through some of these structural zones, these resistance zones, and actually give us a more stable, consistent move towards the upside that is not stained by the risk of a bearish flag. Okay. So what does all of this mean? All of this analysis, all of this shit, this yap that I just done, what does this mean? It means that we're in a good spot, but we still need to be careful. And now is not the time to get too far ahead of yourselves. Now is not the time to be opening up the biggest leverage loan trade that you can possibly imagine. Now is not the time to go to the bank and take out the biggest loan that you can possibly imagine. Now is not the time. Now is the time to understand that there is still risk on the table. And while Bitcoin is in this bearish channel or in this bearish flag and below this green box, rejection could come at any moment. Look at the liquidation charts. Yes, we are seeing favor to the upside. Absolutely. What do I mean by that? There is still enough incentive in this market for Bitcoin to push into these higher levels. Yes, that is very, very, very possible. We easily could push up. But as we're inching upwards, look at this. As we're inching upwards, look, people are getting confident. We're now currently seeing nearly $8 billion worth of liquidations back to the downside. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right, relax. Anyway, the whole point, what I was trying to say just now, I don't remember where I left off, but the whole point is $96,000. Okay. While we're below 96K, we are still in danger. While we're in this this ascending channel, this bearish flag, we are in danger. And I need you guys to understand that. So yes, this is good. No, you can't get too excited quite yet. Now, how is this translating over to altcoins? Well, let's go take a look. Bitcoin dominance. Currently, Bitcoin dominance is roughly in the same spot that it's been for a while. Okay. If we actually go look at Bitcoin dominance is somewhat. Go back to the liquidation charts. Okay. Everything that I basically said was that there's a still incentive to the downside. Don't worry. Okay. The whole point is you get the point. So, how's Bitcoin dominance being impacted right now? Well, Bitcoin dominance is still roughly in the same spot that it's been. Yeah, we're a little bit slightly down. We did get this rejection off of this key zone of support. We did get a bit of an SR flip that is pushing us downwards, but Bitcoin is still in general trying to turn upwards. It is in general creating what easily could be reversal structure. So it's too early to tell. But what we can see is that due to the fact that we are seeing a green day like this, it's a pretty green day today, guys. Okay, so far, right? The fact that we're seeing a green day today like this, but we're not seeing a big move in either direction from Bitcoin dominance means that this is a proportionate pump. meaning that we are actually seeing equal distribution of liquidity throughout the market. And that's a good thing. This is a natural, healthy thing. Nothing's favoring anything. No. We're just seeing the market in general performing well. You look at something like Ethereum. Ethereum's price is attempting to find some support off that zone of support that we identified between $2,900 and $2,500. I told you all, this is a very, very, very big level of support, and Ethereum's price is trying to recover off of it. The same thing goes for Solana. Boom, trying to recover off this support level. Same thing goes for XRP, trying to recover off this support level. So our major altcoins are all using this as an opportunity to attempt to reverse back to the upside, but obviously there is still a lot that needs to happen in order to confirm it. All of them have not broken through macro structure quite yet. For example, ETH would need to break $3,700 in order for it to break its own personal structure. Solana, for example, would need to break above $172, which it is very far away from in order to break its own structure. And XRP would need to break above roughly $2.59, which it is still also very far away from. So this is nothing to get super crazy about, in my opinion. It's not a moment to freak out and start screaming that we're back. I absolutely would not be doing that. But it definitely is an opportune moment that could transition into what easily could be the things that pushes us back to the upside. So what am I personally doing right now? Well, I'm actually just keeping very calm, keeping very steady. As you all know, this is my strategy. My entire strategy for crypto right now is plotted on this chart. And let's take a quick review on how this is going. So what we can see here is my entire strategy, again, plotted on the Bitcoin chart. Everything below the current Bitcoin price are accumulation levels. I told you all about 3 weeks ago that I would be accumulating Bitcoin's price in these different levels. First and foremost, I would be accumulating Bitcoin between 91 and 83,000. I said, listen, this is a medium golden zone. Okay. This is a golden zone that easily could try to push back Bitcoin back up towards some of our take profit levels. So because of that, I'm accumulating as we get in here, which I did. Then I also told you all the lower that it goes, I will accumulate larger positions the further down that it goes. Medium to large being between the $75,000 and $70,000 level. I do a large purchase here at $60,000 and a very large purchase here at $50,000. So these are all my accumulation levels for Bitcoin's price. And here are all of my take profit levels for the Bitcoin price. Now, in addition to that, I've also told you that when I buy Bitcoin, okay, I'll also use these as opportunities to buy altcoins. So for example, when we were doing some accumulating on Bitcoin towards these lows, towards these $83,000, $84,000 lows, we were also using that as an opportunity to buy Ethereum. I opened up a position on Aster. We got some purchases going on in there. And that's the only thing that I'm going to do with my alts. Buy when Bitcoin's at its buy zones, take profit when it's at its take profit zones. So currently what we can see is that Bitcoin is actually range bound between two of our zones. It is currently bouncing between our accumulation zone and our first take profit zone at $100,000. I've told you all pretty consistently, listen, $100,000 is a psychological level of liquidity. It's going to be one of those zones that's going to put a lot of pressure on Bitcoin. And so knowing that it's a psychological level of liquidity, I am willing to take some profits off the table from an $83,000 purchase on the Bitcoin price, right? I told you all, right? Say if we scoop Bitcoin at $84,000, if it pushes back up to 100,000, that's an 18% gain. Many people said, Tyler, why would you take profit at $100,000? It's only 100K. That's not real gains. Listen here, buddy. An 18% gain on Bitcoin is good. Okay, Bitcoin don't give us that many gains these days, right? So if I can get an 18% gainer on Bitcoin, totally fine with me. So $100,000 is my first psychological level of profit taking. Now the next one would be at 108, 115, and 124. I'll worry about those if the day comes. But right now, Bitcoin is range bound between our accumulation zone, which is this medium golden zone between 91 and 83,000, and our psychological level at 100,000. And so since we're kind of in the dead zone between those two, I'm not doing anything. I'm not buying. I'm not selling. I'm not going to make any moves. I just don't particularly see a point. I'd either rather be taking more profit up here or buying more down here. I'd rather just do that. I see no point in making a move here. So I'm sit back, waiting and watching. Now, it is a good time to sit back and wait and watch, in my opinion, because of what we are seeing from a structural perspective. As I mentioned before, there's a ton of liquidity that is going to attempt to reject Bitcoin's price from this bearish flag and from this green zone of resistance. And so naturally, knowing that this is a massive zone of resistance, it's going to try to push Bitcoin downwards. It's going to fight to push Bitcoin down. And I want to know if it's going to be successful. If Bitcoin breaks through this thing, that's a pretty decent sign. Yeah, I'm still going to take profit, but that's still a really good sign. If Bitcoin fails and it gets rejected back to the downside, I'm just going to go back to my accumulating at the bottom side. No problem. Because what if Bitcoin decides it wants to do something like this? Who's to say it won't? So I'll just go back to accumulating. And so my macro strategy combined with my micro analysis both tell me that the best thing to do right now is to sit back, wait, and watch. I'm not opening up long trades. I'm not opening up short trades. Now, I did do a little bit of trading not too long ago throughout this little move right here. But truth be told, I've kind of just closed all those trades down. So what I ended up personally doing, let me just kind of remove all this for now real quick. So what I ended up doing, this is just a rough recap because I don't remember the exact levels, but as Bitcoin's price did push towards 87,000, somewhere around here or so, I believe, Bitcoin's price, I did open up a long trade, 10x leverage, at which I opened up and then pushed all the way to, Bitcoin pushed all the way up towards 94K. As Bitcoin pushed up towards 94K, I did not like the price action that I was seeing at 94K. So I actually closed down this leverage trade. Let's say, for example, I made $100 in profit off this leverage long trade right here. What I ended up doing is taking this $100 and reversing it back into a short trade. So I put that $100 into a short trade, literally, I mean, right around here, like 93K or something like that, roughly. As Bitcoin's price started to capitulate back downwards, what I did is I took that $100 of profit from the long trade back out. So I put that back into my bag. And then I left the profit from that short trade in it just as a hedge, just in case we broke down. But I had a stop loss set at $93,800. And as Bitcoin's price, as you can see, Bitcoin's price pushed upwards and stop lost that short trade. So I did lose the profit from the short trade that I captured from here to here, but I still have the profit from the long trade from down here to up here. So I did have that little leverage trade going. I was just swinging through this bearish channel thinking that I could get some free profit from a hedge trade. The hedge trade did get stop lost. Totally fine by me. I had some pretty decent gains there. As we can see, I did at one point, the short trade was at 33%, which is at the point in which I removed my initial profits. And then, of course, my long trade was up around 50% at the time, at which point I did close it down. So I was able to lock in some decent trades here. But I mean, that's about it, really. I just didn't want to go too crazy. And now that we're back in a spot where we're in discovery, right? Now that we're in a spot where we're trying to figure out what the next move is, or is Bitcoin going to, what's it going to do, right? That's what we're trying to figure out as it's now at this resistance zone. I'm not feeling incredibly comfortable opening up any long trades or short trades, so I'm not trading. I'm not trading according to micro analysis, and I'm not doing any macro moves based on macro analysis because we're between two zones. So right now is a pause for me. Okay. So that's my overall analysis of the market. That's what's happening. As I mentioned before, we did get the Jolts, the job openings, which was a perfect disguise for a short squeeze, which is what we've seen today. And the short squeeze is just continuing to get worse and worse for these short traders. $300 million worth of liquidations in the last 25 hours. So we have seen that short squeeze happening, and there is still the opportunity for it to continue, because if you look at that 30-day, the shorters are confident, guys. They don't think this is going to last. And it's in these sorts of moments where Bitcoin continues to try to push higher. It actually would surprise me if Bitcoin just immediately nukes back down, because the confidence that we do have in the short trades here. I guess the only thing that could make sense is that the whales and the market manipulators would expect that if they allow this price to say head back to 92K, these short traders would feel even more confident and double down on these short positions, adding and increasing their leverage, maybe even pushing us up towards 10 billion in leverage at 98,000. At what point they can then start to push back up. So maybe there could be some sort of short-term reversal into another move upwards. I guess there's a world in which that happens. But in a moment like this, in which we are seeing these short traders extremely confident, there is still more than enough incentive in the macro for us to continue upwards. So the game here just remains very, very simple. We do have the incentive to push upwards. We do have every reason to push upwards. All Bitcoin needs to do now is freaking push upwards. Get through the green zone of resistance, get through the bearish flag, and then the real door of opportunity for some real gains could easily be on the way, maybe with a Bitcoin trying to even push back up towards regional and structural highs at 107K. So I'll keep you updated as that does play out, but obviously time will tell. Until that time does happen, the best thing to do here is nothing. Now, if you are looking decent, if you're up, for example, maybe you scooped a little bag of ADA at 37 cents, and now that bag of ADA from 37 cents is now up 25%. Yeah, I see no reason as to why this isn't a decent time to take some profits, right? You scooped a little SWE, maybe, for example, at some of these lows, and now your SWE bag's up 25%. Yeah, sure, take a little profit off the table. You scooped a little, I don't freaking know, BNB maybe at like $800 or whatever it was at down here. Yeah, take a little profit. Not a bad time to take some profit. I personally am just going to stick it out a little bit more because it's not at my threshold that I want to take profit quite yet. Okay, so I'll keep you guys as this all does play out. I'll keep you updated, of course, but that's my general analysis, and I would appreciate it if this all does make sense. Put a 3 in the chat so I know that you guys understood what I said here. Now, while you guys are doing that, I will kind of let you guys know, first and foremost, as I did mention before, I was doing some trading recently, got a little 50% gainer there, had a 33% gainer, but rode that bad boy to a stop loss, so it's all good there. But I was doing all of my trading over on BTCC. If you are an experienced trader, you can check out BTCC, and we're actually doing a giveaway where 3 of you who trade either Bitcoin, ETH, XLM, Solana, or SWE, you're going to get $500, okay? So we're just going to give it to you. It's just going to be credited to your account. All you have to do is sign up, start trading on BTCC today, and 3 of you are just, I'm literally just going to give you $500. Okay. In addition to that, for those of you who do sign up and start trading and deposit, you can get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards and lower trading fees. That's all available down below. This is the exchange that I personally use to trade. The link to that is down below. I will also let you guys know if you're not into trading, which is probably a good idea because this shit's dangerous. If you're not into trading, but you just hold crypto, make sure that you do check out my link to iTrust Capital down below, where you're going to get $100 if you want to start a retirement account over on iTrust. It's a way in which you can literally get tax-free gains here in the world of crypto. It's all available for you. I have that link down below, so you can go learn more there as well. But with that in mind, let's go ahead. And yeah, we're going to jump out of the charts for a second here. I'm going to answer some questions from the chat, and then we're going to do some individual analysis on Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, SWI, maybe Aster, a couple more. So we're going to do some altcoin analysis here in a second. So yeah, make sure that you stick around for that. But in the meantime, let's answer some questions from the chat. I just dumped water on myself. Nice. Also, I hope the live stream over on X is working. I've never done this before. So hopefully it's working, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Not sure if this is working or not, but anywho. All right, let's see. Did we get some threes in the chat? Let's see. 3, 3, 3. Okay, fantastic. 3, 3. Cool, cool, cool. Good to see you guys are it's all more manipulated now than it's ever been. Crypto's a joke. It's definitely more manipulated now than ever. I would agree. Crypto Cowboys in the building. What's up, Chris? We have a collaboration video with Crypto Cowboys coming out. Make sure to go check out his channel. Fantastic technical analysis. Much better trader than me, but it's all good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And that is a good point. There is still a lot that is going to happen this week. I think your pop retweeted the schedule. Let me go look. Yeah. So we got Jolts job openings data today. Tomorrow, we're going to get the December Fed interest rate decision. We're also going to get the press conference tomorrow, which his tone is going to be very important to kind of give us. I did it again. I know. I honestly have no idea why that just keeps happening. I don't know what the last thing y'all heard was. I actually have no idea why that happens. I'll have to work on that. Sorry, guys. I don't remember what the last thing y'all heard was. Basically what I said was that Wednesday is where all the exciting stuff is going to happen. That's where a lot of the that's where the biggest thing is, right? We just need to see what their interest rate decision is going to be. I think that's going to be pretty clear. And then we're also going to have to just see what Jerome Powell says about like his outlooks of next year, because I think that's going to lay the foundation going into 2026. I put in a sell order at $100,000 to take $3,000. Am I being stupid right now? It's like it's holding like 2,000, like 850. So I'm waiting on 150. I mean, I personally am someone who takes marginal profits. So I'm not a firm believer in like, I won't sell anything until it gets to this place. I oftentimes get burned when that happens. So if I'm in your situation, I have okay. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm good. Anywho, I'm sorry, I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, I would probably start kind of getting the ball rolling to take some profits. I wouldn't risk losing thousands of dollars in profit for $150. Tell Santa to get you a new mic, fam. This mic is great. It always works. I don't know. Maybe my maybe it's getting unplugged out my computer. I'll check it tomorrow or later. Sorry, Tyler. What's the odds of a new all-time high? I'd say less than 50%. Connor sucks. That's the last thing we heard. ETH is moving and grooving. It's out again. What do you make of the Sol XRP rumors? What are the rumors? This pump means nothing before the FOMC. I wouldn't say it means nothing, but I do understand your point. Never mind, my speakers died. All right, cool. I think our live stream on X is working, which is cool. Good to see. Hey, Tyler, what's your opinion on Sui? Do you think it's the next Solana? No, I don't think it's the next Solana, but I do think it's a very, very good ecosystem. What do you think the lizard people will do? I mean, the most reasonable thing for them to do is to continue this upwards, right? Like, I think the most reasonable thing for them to do is push up into this confidence towards like $98,000. That's the most reasonable thing to do, which could be the exact thing that we need in order to push through the bear flag and obviously push through this resistance here. But it obviously wouldn't be final confirmation because after that, that's where we determine, do we stay out here or do we re-enter? If I'm a lizard person, truth be told, guys, if I'm a lizard person, what I do is I push Bitcoin up towards like 99,000. I smash through all of these liquidations to the bottom side. I let everyone, all the analysts, even like myself included, think that we've now officially broken the green zone in the bear flag, and then use this as a fake out and return back towards $89,000 and then break through the bear flag to the downside to smother all of these long traders. That's what I would do. Like, if I'm a lizard person, that's the game I'm playing. But that's if their incentive still remains the same to get cheap Bitcoin. If they've accumulated enough Bitcoin between 80,000 and 83,000 and they're comfortable, what I would do if I was them is I would maybe give a wick upwards, like a wick upwards, come back down, push back down one more time, and then send it. You got to send it. Like, if you're them, you got to send it and don't give the shorts a chance to return. Right. So it depends on what their incentive is. If they've bought enough Bitcoin and they're comfortable and happy with the amount of Bitcoin they bought, let it run, but maybe give one more wick down in order to kind of just smash through some of these. I mean, look at these guys, right? Like, look at these little fish. Look at these, right? Like, you have all of this free money here at 88,000. It's like, why would you not go capture it one more time? Just a little bang, bang. Boom, 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 and then just like let that bitch fly. That's what I personally would do if I'm happy with my accumulation. If I'm not happy with my accumulation, I let it break $98,000. I let it wick back in, come back down, break through the bottom side. That's the move that I would make personally. Do you think, like some analysts, 2026 will be a crazy alt season? Not really, not particularly. Thoughts on the Jake Paul fight? If he wins, it's rigged. Wins the new all-time high, then. But I think end of 2026 is reasonable. Hey, Tyler, realistically, what do you see Bitcoin at before the end of this year? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I just don't know what these market manipulators' incentive is right now. I don't know if they're comfortable with their accumulation or not. Think we'll have a Christmas rally and go into a super cycle. I'm not betting on it. Why is crypto pumping? We got some decent Jolts job openings reports earlier. And yeah. Yep, the lizard people take all the leverage plays out, both long and short. Yep. When everyone's bearish, we're going up. They want to get rid of as much retail as possible before Bitcoin breaks away from sub 100K levels forever. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job at it. For example, on Twitter earlier, I posted something very interesting is happening on crypto YouTube. Views on broad market content is down 33%. Views on Bitcoin content is down 35%. Yet views on altcoin content is down 77%. People are giving up on altcoins. Do you know what that means historically? So I agree with you, right? They oftentimes will try to sideline retail and get them out the market before they allow the market to continue upwards. They've done a great job at it. So there is an opportunity for us to start to recover here. We just have to, I don't think people understand, we just have to start clearing some of this structure. We have to start clearing some of the structure. Until we do that, this is nothing more than what we saw here, what we saw here, what we saw here. It's just bigger. It's nothing more than this. It's nothing more than this until we start breaking through some of the structural liquidity. Sounds like what the lizard people will do. They lick into my balls. What do you think about Peter Ndabran? Crazy, bro. Crazy. He had the perfect formula to beat him. I mean, absolutely fantastic performance. One of the best title challenger performances we've seen of all time. Do you think a lot of people are sidelined at the moment, expect to move towards this 200-day moving average just to go into a bear market? So a fast move to the upside could create pain and liquidate a lot of shorts. I think that's reasonable. Absolutely. Take some profits. I agree. They want to get rid of as much. Yep, 85. Okay. Honestly, right now, it's just a lot of noise. Agreed. Who are the lizard people? Oftentimes, market manipulators and centralized exchanges, from what I could tell, but there's also going to be people who we just don't know. I personally don't think it's the best time. Not a bad time long term, but not a great time short term. Volume in the current bounce is pretty low, puts us at the top of the Bollinger 2. Isn't the setup more bearish in the short term? Flipping 93K into support seems less likely. Yeah. Yeah. We need proof. That's what we're chasing right now. Nope, I'm not buying alts right now. There's a lizard people are market makers and liquidity providers, exchanges, and prop desks. Yep. Yeah. You like that. All right, let's do some altcoin analysis. Let's take a look at what alts are doing. Let's see here. Looking at Ethereum, Ethereum just absolutely sent it, man. Looking very, very good. Looking very healthy. We have some short-term trends being broken, which is fantastic. But remember, when it comes to Ethereum, all this is good. Don't get me wrong. We are seeing liquidity holding up. We are seeing we're seeing ETH perform as we would hope, right? It's hitting these liquidity zones. It's taking this structure. They're using this structure to try to use it to push upwards. This is good. But what we need to see from ETH is that it has to, of course, start breaking through some of these structural zones. I think there's clearly a zone of resistance that's going to sit at this previous zone of support right here, right at $3,385, which is exactly where we are now. In addition to that, there is this wick low that we saw from the 1010 crash right there, and then we also have resistance sitting here at 37 or 36.75. So realistically, this little red box that I'm about to draw up right here, this is a massive zone of resistance, and this is what we need to see ETH break. If ETH can break through this, we're in a very good spot. But while ETH is below this, again, we're still in risky territory. There is still this downtrend, and it is still intact. ETH is still putting in lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. It's still doing this. We need to start to see this. We need to start seeing this trend actually change. Okay. And it'd be hard. It'll be hard. Usually trend changes, they're difficult, but they happen. Look at what we saw right here. We saw ETH putting in lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, whatever, up until the point that it started to recover, broke structure, higher high, higher low, and then it ran all the way up towards a new high. So it can happen. We just need to see it happen, right? So we need to see ETH being able to break above this red box at $3,700. Okay. Checking to make sure my mic is on. Solana, for example, Solana's in a bit of a similar situation, but Solana's not really catching a ton of traction right now. But what we can see is that Solana came back down to this macro golden zone, and it is putting in accumulation structure. This is accumulation structure, whether you like it or not, whether you hate Solana or not, that is accumulation structure going to show people are accumulating here. And as these dips are happening, we're seeing those dips being eaten up in this support and this liquidity and the structure holding. So for now, what we're looking for is let's use it, right? Let's fucking use it. Let's see Solana's price use the support, push back up, macro resistance, break above it. I think we're in a good spot if we can do that. So we want to see Solana be able to break above 172. That'll be like one of those biggest, like, oh wow, like Solana's actually putting in that work right now. It's actually seeing a pretty solid recovery here. That would also give Solana a break above this general little trend that we're seeing, this general downtrend. I'd almost be willing to say that this is a descending parallel channel that I missed. That I must have missed. Let's see. Indeed. Yep, indeed. So for Solana, the goal remains the same. Break structure, break the channel, break through this bad boy. Let's get above resistance. Then we're in a good spot for Solana, okay? So Solana's looking decent, but don't get too far ahead of yourselves. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. XRP. When we look at XRP, one thing that I am curious about is whether or not this is a not particularly. Okay. So XRP is obviously in a downtrend, returning towards some of these lower levels. But what we can see is that I believe this is our macro golden zone. Yep. So XRP's price has now come down to this macro golden zone and is trying to hold some support. That's all it's trying to do. It put in the low. It's trying to put in the higher low. It's trying to use this to reverse back to the upside. So if you're an XRP holder, what you're looking for is XRP to be able to flip this zone of support, use this zone of support, and allow it to push it back up to structural resistance right around $2.60. If XRP can break structural resistance at 260, boy, are we in a good spot. But while we're still down here, I mean, there's always the threat that we get some sort of return back towards this, this bottom side support at $1.60. That's a massive threat at all times. So you want to see XRP being able to finally start making progress out of this. Even if XRP just breaks above $2.30, that's a good start, right? So XRP is not in a spot yet where we can get too excited. BNB. So, I mean, a similar story here with BNB, right? Let's look at this. There we go. So what we can see and I wonder if that's some sort of Fibonacci. Yeah, roughly, decently. And then let's see. Sorry, give me 1 second. Yeah, same thing here. So what we can see is that XRP obviously put in this resistance, came back down and found the support. I actually think that might be bottom side golden zone support, which would have been very strong. Yep, bottom side golden zone support. So someone just said, and I do want to actually speak to this. What's the point of alts TA? They just follow where Bitcoin go. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do generally agree, but I think kind of having your individual analysis on altcoins is still important. But anyway, so what we can see is that we saw Bitcoin or Binance, Binance's BNB. It came up, came back down, golden zone support, and used that to start breaking towards the top side. Broke through this. Nope, not that. This broke through this golden zone right here, as you can see. Cleared through this golden zone after the retest, broke above it, back test, and absolutely sent it up to a Fibonacci extension. And now it's coming back down to try to reflip that range high into support. So BNB is doing a very good job. It's actually trying very hard to use that $797/$800 psychological level as well to use it to push back to the upside. But similar to the other altcoins, is it just needs to show us the strength. Because although it's stable here, stable isn't good enough for me. Stable. Sorry. Anyway, stable isn't good enough for me, right? What we want to see from BNB is the ability for it to actually be able to start using this momentum to push back towards the upside and set some new highs, right? We want to see BNB back above 1,020 or something like that before we're getting super optimistic, because truth be told, again, this at any given point could just end up being a capitulation. And the chances of that sort of capitulation happening become much lower once we actually start breaking some of the structure. You just want to see the structural changes, guys, okay? And so BNB is in a very similar situation. SWI. Let's see here. Same thing goes for SWI. Make this very quick for you. We want to see SWI be able to consistently stay above $1.71. Until it does that, I'm not interested quite yet. It is in a buying accumulation zone while it is sub 170, but it needs to get back above 170 before I get too excited. Wait for that to happen. I'll update you when that does. Let's see. Aave, I've been a big fan of Aave recently, actually. I'm really understanding the narrative behind Aave, especially as of recent, but curious to see what's kind of going on here. What we can see, I figured. Okay, so Aave is attempting to break through this channel. I don't think this is parallel. It doesn't look parallel, but maybe I'm wrong. Nope, not parallel, just have a trend. So what we can see is that Aave is attempting to break trend right now. What you want to see from Aave is very simple. Aave, first and foremost, you need to see a break trend. Second of all, you need to see a break structure. The structure we're looking for is a break above $232. That's the next step for Aave. Step number one, right here. Step number two, right here. That's what we're looking for before we get too optimistic. Very simple picture here whenever it comes to XLM. Sorry, let me just give you the clear picture here. You know what? Let's just remove this for now. So whenever I look at XLM, right, I obviously do factor in the fact that we are now sat at the bottom side of this range, or we did come back down to revisit this range. This is the range in which XLM's price has tried to break out of or stay on top of for quite some time. Many people have called this some sort of a macro channel. I did see the post on Twitter where people said we were in one of these. I get it. I get it. It's just big as hell, so it's really hard to kind of factor that in. But I do see what people are trying to say. It also does make a lot of sense for this to be our structural zone of support, because that was our structural zone of resistance. We can see previously that this is where our resistance was back here, which was a previous point of support, which was a previous point of support and resistance right here. So naturally, this has become a massive zone of liquidity that we're trying to balance on top of. So for XLM, I mean, we're in a decent spot. I do still think it is in an accumulation zone, but we need to see XLM obviously race back towards the top side. So for XLM, we're not really getting that much movement quite yet. This isn't anything to get too excited about. It's simply just trying to determine whether or not it'll build that foundation on top of this massive zone of liquidity. Okay. H-bar, similar thing. Very, very, very similar story. Actually, the same thing as XLM when it comes to H-bar, but the story applies to this range right here. So kind of same thing for that. ICP, Caspos, kind of skip through these ones for now. I did see somebody ask if we could look at Aster, which is a newer crypto to my bag, so happy to check that out. I wish that this Aster chart had I doubt any of them will, but yeah, this one's a little bit better. So Aster, the reason why I added Aster to my bag recently was just because I did like the fact that we were seeing it stabilize so well. So we obviously saw Aster's price really give us a lot of growth, came back down, all the way back down to this Fibonacci golden zone of support. This one between this high and this low. And then it's now trying to use the support to find some liquidity. And then we can also see from a macro perspective, the same thing happening here, right? So what we can see is that Aster is doing a very good job at trying to establish a foundation here. it's holding up well. I think Binance is the most manipulated shit on earth, and I think BNB is the most manipulated token on earth. And I think any of the tokens within its ecosystem will have a fighting chance because they're tied to it. And so, because of that, I understand the manipulation narrative behind Aster. I think that the decentralized exchange narrative is one that's very strong as well. So, because of that, I think Aster's in a good spot. And it wouldn't surprise me that even if Aster does a trickle down, that at some point it does jump back up to like, $1.80 or $2. I could absolutely see that happening one day, and it still does go to show that for me. So I do like the fact that Aster is still maintaining some support, not getting a lot of traction today, so you don't love to see that, but it is still maintaining quite well. Pepe. So the last time I talked about Pepe, I warned you all about this Head and Shoulders. I said, listen, if we break below this gold line, it's not good. And I'm not going to really get that deep into Pepe until it breaks back above this gold line. It's still below this gold line, so I'm not going to get that deep into it. Below the gold line is a risk. Above the gold line is much less risk. Very, very simple analysis there. All righty. Whew. Jeez. Let me just check something. I saw sorry. Had a shit ton of messages come through just now, just making sure everything's all good. Cool. What's up, Mark? Welcome in. Well, look, hopefully you guys did enjoy that technical analysis session. That's going to be about the technical analysis that we do for now. I will maybe do a little bit more in a little while here, but I do want to open up the chat for some more questions. Feel free to shoot your questions over. In the meantime, I will remind you guys two things. If you do want to start trading, you can check out BTCC. We're doing a $1,500 giveaway and up to $10,000 worth of bonuses. And you can also check out iTrust Capital if you do want to start a retirement account. That is linked down below. $100 funding bonus for anyone who wants to get started. The other thing that I almost forgot to tell you all about was the school. So I'm sure you guys have seen that I have been posting a lot of my trades and my buys and my sells and my thoughts and so much more, 2 minutes, 3 minutes worth of just ideas or whatever. If you guys do want to get access to not only what I'm doing, but what an array of other coaches are doing, and join a community that's absolutely printing. I mean, look at this. Like, this is just today, 230% gain, 100% gain there, 171% gain, 62, 103, 128, 116, 158. You get the point, right? If you want to join a community that's really, really seeing a lot of growth, the link to the crypto school is down below. You guys can go check it out. It's a school that we've developed over the last couple of years to teach people about crypto, and there's a lot in it. Matter of fact, I'll actually show you guys a little bit behind the scenes, which I don't really do very often. But when you join the crypto school, you're going to get a beginner course, which is an entire course that teaches you about how crypto works and what it is. There's also another course that goes over creating an actual strategy in the world of crypto. As you can see here, it's 11 hours long on strategy creation there. And then we have a ton of bonus content as well. Feel free to check that out. The link to that is down below too. So feel free to check it out. Let me know what you think. Anyway, let's answer some questions. And also, I'm going to go ahead and check these live streams real quick. All right, we're good on X. We are good on YouTube. Cool. All right, let's see. Damn, I was making a crazy face just now, wasn't I? BNB is just a Bitcoin proxy. Do you like AVNT? I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I've become a Sol maxi. I mean, I think Sol has clearly established that it has one of, if not the best ecosystem in crypto, especially after everything it's been through. So I think that's reasonable. Appreciate you, Tan the Crazy If. What's up, homie? Easy, G. Easy. I don't know much about Monad, to be honest. But I do have it on my list to check them out. So you believe there will be no altcoin season, even in an environment with more liquidity, even a different altcoin season likely? Yeah, a different altcoin season I think will happen one day, not the altcoin season that people think is going to happen. Sell the news after rate cut? Maybe so. I don't think that's why the market's pumping right now. I don't think we're pumping because of the rate cut. The rate cut, everyone knows it's coming. I don't know about that. Hi, Tyler. Thanks for the TA. Are you still following the Japanese bond market and the high possibility of a reverse carry trade? Really like your video on that last week. So, yes, I do just feel like the effects of that are going to be absorbed. I don't particularly think that they're going to be incredibly devastating for the market. I just believe that the market responded to that in that moment, which is why I was so heavily focused on it. But now that we're past it, I think people have come to realize that, yeah, it's important, but it's not like the end of the world. And so I'm not super concerned about it. Much love. Learn the hard way. Do not marry these coins. Agreed. What subscriptions do you have on TradingView? Is there any that you recommend? I think I have the pro version. Bitcoin just hit resistance. Do you think it will try again? What resistance are you talking about? Do you mean that it got rejected? Because that's not super surprising. You were so early in. I wouldn't say early. You made an absolutely call out to invest in TARS AI, Emma. I love these comments, and these are fantastic. I always appreciate them because the craziest thing is that let me fact check you, G. Let me fact check you real quick. Let me make sure my mic didn't get unplugged there. And people are always funny. They're like, you made a call to buy this thing, it's down, yada, yada. I'm like, hey, buddy, I also lost money too, right? I didn't make a call on shit. But the funniest part is that I made my very first video about TARS AI last summer, back when it was at, where were we at? We ran up to, so it would have been right whenever we saw this very first pullback, right around like 0.1. Okay, so we were right around like 10 cents. No, it was at 0.9. It had to have been back in whenever, right after that conference. We went to the conference in Puerto Rico, and I went to Puerto Rico after. So it would have been the middle of August. So it was around here, like 0.10, 0.9. So let's say 9 cents. From there, it went sideways for a couple months and then absolutely ripped 455% in gains. All the people who held through here locked in some beautiful profits. It came back down and went below this, right? It went below my entry, but obviously, we had locked in a ton of profit. It starts to reverse around 5 cents. I say, hey, TARS AI is starting to actually see some decent recovery. This could be a decent moment to redeploy some of the profit. Took some of the profits that I pulled from back here, threw it back in. TARS AI ran all the way back up again to 15 cents. I personally didn't pull any profits, not going to lie. And then it trickled all the way down to 2.5. So there was an opportunity for a 455% gain right here. There was then an opportunity for a 200% gain, 185% gain right here. So the people who say, I'm like, it's no one's fault but your own that you don't know how to move your bags properly, how to take profit. I made videos saying I'm locking in profit. You can go watch them. So, James, respectfully, it's no one's fault but your own. Wink. All right. Bitcoin is in the process of increasing in 2026. Bitcoin is a reference for increasing crypto coins. Okay. It has clearly not been smart to hold cash, but LOL, you call it 75%. I wonder who you're talking to. You ever do day trading? Not intra day trading, but I do some sort of more short-term trading for sure. Tyler, ignore the people who attack you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Nah, they don't bother me, guys. Listen, I've been in crypto social media for 5 years. You ain't getting under my skin, G. You should have been buying all year. Blame Canada. Been dollar cost averaging longs all the way down. Almost time to exit long perps. I will buy Caspa again when it breaks out. LOL. Why plant money in an asset that is losing value over the last year when I could be suing that money? Swinging? I don't know. Yeah. Blame Trump, but reckon TARS AI would go back up, been accumulating at lows. If their team keeps building, yes. If they don't, no. It actually blows my mind that people blame crypto YouTubers for their losses. Same dudes. Okay. I do understand why some people blame YouTubers for their losses because some YouTubers are very irresponsible with their platform, right? So some content creators are for sure very irresponsible with their platform, saying, if you sell your crypto, you're out of your mind. We're in the best opportunity in a lifetime. Never sell. And then it just goes down because we're like, say in 2022, we're like obviously in a bear market. Putting some blame on that content creator makes sense to me. But you got to blame yourself more because it's on you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Can we see that man dance in the background? What up, my guy? Shout out from Indonesia. Welcome in, G. Personally, I made a ton off of TARS AI. Same. LOL, Canada didn't gaslight you into voting against your own interests. No, I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I dislike them. It's kind of like, What are your thoughts on Ethereum's future? Always going to be one of the most important altcoins for at least a long time. What do you think about the Bitcoin rainbow chart and where we are at the moment? Does this chart not apply? I don't think it applies as much anymore. I just think you cannot make anyone responsible for your decisions in life. Being an adult is an accountability. I completely agree. Why are we dumping again? I need only up. I guarantee we're not dumping. Bro, we're at 93.5K. Relax. Nah, James, I don't really want to. I don't like, nah, man. Nah, don't like, I don't want the friendly bot now. You see, James, that's one of the funniest things is like, people like yourself will comment something like, yeah, you did such a great job losing all those people money. And then you get the attention you want. And you're like, no hate, no hate. Nah, relax. It's like stand on it. You know what I mean? Let's be real. They bought it because they said AI. Yeah, like we all did. Who cares? For sure. I completely agree, Peter. Do you think Bitcoin dominance will collapse at the end of the cycle? If the 4 year, I could see a world in which it happens, maybe not to the capacity in which it had previously. Stack as much cash as possible. Ignore. Oh, I'm not reading that out loud because someone's going to clip me. What do you think about trading by SEIS strategy? What is that? Remind me. I like this. That's good. Didn't you buy that dino on the second channel? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did on the vlog channel. Yeah, I did. Oh, guys, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I'm so glad you said that. Appreciate it, G. You guys may not know this, but I do have a second YouTube channel. Feel free to go check it out if you want. It's called Tyler Hill Unlocked. It's just a YouTube channel where super long story short, I have a management agency. It does like $2 million a year. And I have a YouTube channel that I've dedicated to vlogging the whole process of building the channel and growing the channel and, just kind of what my life looks like while I'm working on it and stuff. So feel free to go check that out if you want to see a little bit of the behind the scenes action in my life. That is linked down below. I have a new one that I am going to be recording this week, posting next week. So feel free to check that out. That is linked down below. It's called Tyler Hill Unlocked. If that is interesting to you, feel free to check it out. What do you think better, Trump or Biden for crypto future? I would say Trump is better for the future of crypto because under Trump's administration, there have been better things that have happened for the crypto foundation, right? So let's talk about the core fundamentals of crypto, the environment that we're in for crypto, right? Like we're starting to see legislation and things happen that are actually building a stronger foundation for crypto than we've ever seen, right? Crypto as a whole would never have been able to do some of the things it's done as a result of, say, Gary Gensler being in office. And I understand that Gary Gensler and Biden aren't, one and the same, but I think you understand the point, right? I would definitely say that although Trump has quite obviously manipulated the market and he has quite obviously done things that have been detrimental for crypto, I think that's obvious and we can all agree. The present day for crypto, the foundation for crypto, the administration has been much more favorable to crypto to allow things that'll happen that'll keep crypto around for much longer. So that's my honest belief. I don't give a fuck about politics, if I'm going to be honest with you. And if you have a problem with me saying it, that you can kiss my ass. I genuinely mean that. I don't care about politics. I care about making money, and I just look at things objectively. So I believe that Trump has been better for the future of crypto. Yeah, I did have 2 crypto channels at one point. I just realized I could just consolidate the education channel into this channel if I just created a playlist for education. So I was like, I'll just do it all in one. Read about the gold rush. The people who sold axes were the ones who made money. I thought it was shovels. I've been learning about supply, demand, and IMBs and correct position sizing backtesting has been really eye-opening for me. Nice. Bull run has been happening. Where have people been for the past few years? Yeah. Yeah, right, Peter. You get it. I think that's fair. I think that's fair, Peter. It's funny. I made a comment about that recently. I said, you can't ignore the fact that there have been things that have happened that have been good from like a foundational level for crypto under Trump's administration. And someone was like, "How dare you say anything positive about Trump?" And then I told him to kiss my ass. And then I got an email, like an email from his wife, like, "You really upset my husband because you expressed political views on a crypto channel and blah, blah, blah." And I responded to her email. I told her to kiss my ass too. I'm like, dude, I'm not being political. I don't share political beliefs on the channel because they're not necessary. I can just objectively say, hey, these are things that Trump has done that have been good. These are things that have been bad when it comes to crypto. These are things that Biden did that were good for crypto. These are things that Biden did that were bad for crypto. And if you don't like that, kiss my ass. But anyway, uh, Tyler, are you a lizard person? 100%, bro. 100%. What price do you think ETH could hit in a bullish environment? 8,000, 9,000. I think it's reasonable. What books would you recommend for what specifically? People can be weird. Yeah, it's all good. And if you're watching this, still kiss my ass. Opinion on Litecoin. It's just one of them ones I just don't particularly think it's all that special. Never seen a mix of a street nerd. I'll take it. That's called thinking for yourself. Yeah, man, I'm not getting into that. You think Bitcoin is going to flip the current resistance? I hope it does. I don't know if it will. It just depends on what the market manipulators are incentivized to do. I'm genuinely don't know. I'm polarizing and proud. What's your most polarizing belief? Rob, Crypto Future said that Bitcoin is going down to 55, 60K, and I just can't accept that. It probably will at some point. Why do you think crypto is good for us? I think that the technology behind crypto actually can improve the day-to-day operations of many things in the world, which drives a value to it that I think is hard to replicate. The elites in power are in the same club, and they benefit greatly from us being divided and hating each other. Being in a political, tribal, ideological bubble is a clown game that I've come to find. Yeah, 100%. The best way to control someone is to make them think they have a choice. And I think having a nation which is subdivided into two different parties, giving people the choice to pick their party, while both parties attest to a very similar being, entity, corporation, whatever, I think it makes perfect sense. I see no reason as to why that's not the truth. And I think it's very likely that it is. Do you agree that about Powell will be fired? Do I think he should be, or do I think he will be? I think those are two different questions. Is it just the loan goes up? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, my security system's going off. Those are people are coming to kidnap me. Do you think the line just goes up? What line? Books on economics? Are you more specifically trying to understand like how like macroeconomics works? Like monetary and fiscal policy, or are you talking about like making money? Sorry, I know I keep digging into this question. Used to really like Trump, but not anymore. I feel betrayed by him on a certain level, but I still think he's better for crypto. I think that's reasonable. 115,000, 108,000. Do you hold it? Do you hold Chainlink? I have a little bit of Chainlink, I think. I like Sui. I think it's a good one. Yeah, I think both parties are okay. The truth, like, I think we can all agree. If you don't agree, I think you're just being an asswipe. Both political parties have goods and bads. I think we can all agree there. I think we can also agree that anyone who is an extreme, even the stream agrees, anyone who is an extremist for either party is oftentimes intolerable. I think we can usually both agree. I think some of the best things in life lie in the middle. So I don't even think it's that complicated. How did you learn everything, especially at the start of your journey? I've watched more YouTube than you can possibly fucking fathom. 55K within the next 2 months will be hard. Will be hard. Fetus in the womb is sacred. They get so mad about that. Oh, yeah, that's one I've seen big arguments about. Tyler's the type of homie that everyone needs. I appreciate that. I'm a bit of an asshole, but I try not to be too much. Trump brought turbulence into our industry, but it was needed. Some of y'all DJs need to chill out with 100x averages. Agreed, bro. Thoughts on virtuals? It's okay. What is the technology? A digital ledger. Like, what is a digital ledger? Is that what you're asking? What if the Fed cuts rates by 50 BPS? That would be wild. Yeah, they give you a choice between their choices. Exactly. Yo, Peter's so based. Bought some Node AI and Asana at the lows, UNN GPU alts. I'm into them. I just don't have a lot of them, if that makes sense. What's the difference in pricing tiers on the CSS? I noticed there's two prices. What comes with each option? No, there's only one option. Go to the school. Go to this website that's down below. And the $100 a month one is the one you want. Let me speed up. Let me catch up a little bit. How fast have you gone in your Corvette? When I was playing Grand Theft Auto, I went 128 miles an hour. They are both neoliberal regardless of their social views. It'll be back down to 85K in a few hours. And a few hours is crazy. So Ashley, you're obnoxious. Oh, what did I miss? Let's see. Someone named Ashley say something interesting. Did they increase the amount of ZBCN? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know, though, to be fair. We both know they have pros and cons, and if you just stick with one party and everything, you're a blind asshole. I think blindly voting on a presidential candidate just because they're in a party, even if you don't agree with them, is just actually, I can't say that word, but dumb. I just think it's dumb. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. I just, like, if you disagree, okay, if you hate Trump, you completely disagree with all of Trump's beliefs, which would be odd if you're a Republican, but whatever. But you vote for Trump just because he's a Republican, I think that's weird. If you hate Kamala Harris, for example, disagree with everything she says, but just because she's Democratic, you vote for her, I think that's weird. Like, am I saying anything crazy? I just think that's fucking weird. You are a bleeding heart. Okay, anywho. Too much institutional interest. The parties are not the same. How Republicans wield power versus Democrats is different. Pull up any Republican budget and tell me who said they were the same. Tyler, are you sitting on your lizard eggs? No, I have my dog sit on them while I'm working on this. What worries you the most at the moment? I mean, about most bearish catalysts. I think the only thing that stands out to me that could be concerning is some sort of like major collapse, like a major collapse of a company. Do you think Bitcoin will come around support band near 100K, float around for a month or two, and then roll over for final capitulation? I'm not sure. That's very specific. I appreciate you, Gabriel K 4002 for the $5 dono. All love, G. I think that's reasonable. I think if we fail to clear $100,000, it's definitely possible that we do roll over. There's a lot that has to happen between now and then, obviously. We should be able to vote on individual policies, not for parties. I think on paper that sounds really good. I'm not sure practically how that would work. I hit 130 in my old GLI. Jeez. Actually, people like you that assume anyone that isn't like you is a lib are the problem. I think that's based. I think anyone. Okay. I think anyone who is Republican that assumes that someone who disagrees with them is like the term libtard, I think they're ridiculous. I think any liberal who thinks that someone who supports Donald Trump is like a racist, I think they're also just stupid. Like, I think people are obviously shaped by their experiences. I think that's quite clear. And judging someone based on the way in which they perceive their experiences and then kind of cultivating their beliefs and ideologies, oftentimes which is out of our control, to then judge them and call them like crazy shit, I think just makes you a jackass. So it's like, stop being a fucking loser. So like, yeah, like Ashley, I think you're being a bit of a fucking loser. But anyway, I think, hey, yeah, so this is the part of the live stream where I'm going to just start answering random questions from the chat. Probably go ahead and wrap it up after that. So if you are looking for any good crypto content, we may or may not have anything valuable here, but I'm just going to answer chat for the next 20, 30 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up there. So appreciate you all for joining. Let's just jump into a Q&A. No, I mean, Ashley, I'm definitely still your guy, but I think like calling someone a libtard just because they disagree with you makes you a bit of a fucking loser. I'm going to be honest. Voting for a candidate for one thing is dumb. It seems like a lot of you crypto people voted for him because you wanted the crypto, even though his policies negatively affected didn't benefit the masses. That's an interesting perspective. I can see why you think that. I feel like that's subjective. His policies not benefiting the masses is subjective. So if you're on the side of they don't, I can see your perspective. But I think some people also do think they were beneficial, if that makes sense. That's interesting. Why is your wife never in stream? Does she not do crypto? Nah, she's not big into crypto. I'm a libertarian. I get attacked by clowns on both sides. LOL. One side assumes I'm a Trumper and the other thinks I'm a libtard. Appreciate y'all. I think the United States should make each state a country. People can live in the state that supports their values most, and then laws. I feel like for the most part, that is the way in which the world works a bit. Like, I feel like state laws are obviously extremely applicable, and some states apply their laws differently, and they're oftentimes, generally dominated by a certain political party. So, I mean, I feel like in some ways it is that, but obviously there are federal laws that are applicable that kind of override state laws. I'm a firm believer in state laws, though. I think state laws should be more important than federal laws, but I do understand. I fight at 145 pounds. I walk around about 165 pounds. BMNR is 42. What's it at now? 38. I mean, it's not that far away. Big time. Don't assume what people are if they don't lack step. Agree. That's my whole thing. And Ashley, I'm not like isolating, individualizing you, but I think that people need a bit of a mindset shift. At the end of the day, we're all people who are shaped by experiences, and we all go through different experiences. So therefore, we're going to have different beliefs. And so that's why I think if you criticize and immediately judge somebody just because they have a different political belief than you, I think you're a fucking loser. I think if someone has one religious belief because that's the household that they grew up in and it's all they know, and you have a different religious belief and you can't be friends with them because their religious belief is different than yours, I think you're a fucking loser. I think if one person does want to have kids and another person doesn't want to have kids, and your wife and your couple doesn't be friends with that couple because they don't want to have kids, you're a fucking bunch of losers. You're a couple of losers. Like, we're all shaped by our experiences. We all go through different experiences. We're all different people. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, we all have general common interests, and that is just the betterment of ourselves and the people around us. We want to take care of each other. I think we all agree there. So stop being a bunch of fucking losers. That's the way I see it, at least. Oh, it's my boy. Hey, Tyler, Iron Dragon, in the house. 16 days till Christmas. I know. My office is gonna get more Christmassy as time goes on. Someone's arguing outside my house. As an outsider looking in the two-party system, by the way, if you're interested in crypto-related content, again, just go back to the beginning of the stream. The first 45 minutes was all crypto-related. Now we're just going to yap for the next little bit here. As an outsider looking in, the two-party system in the U.S. is really effing you over by forcing people to take a camp and not being able to see what's wrong with it. 100%. I just don't know how to solve that. I'm not an economist or a politician. I couldn't do a better job than anyone, but I'm gonna judge it. I think you want to make money, so you don't want to pick a side. Like Jordan said, Republicans buy Jordans. I think you want to make money, so you don't pick a side. Like Jordan said, Republicans buy Jordans. Are you talking about me specifically? Yeah. So I have you can probably see. I have a screen here, which is what I do my analysis on. I have another screen here, which is what my chat's on, and then I have the other screen back there. And then you're on a camera stand. Man, this is strong, bro. Okay. Local politics usually do matter more. I'm gonna go Kayla. I'm gonna go Kayla. I only know some politics because I'm in the crypto and stock market. Before that, I was completely ignorant. Low-key, I missed those days. More simple days. Completely agree. Shout out, Thief. See you later, G. Unless his religion requires him to make war on you. Yeah. I think my whole point is that if someone's living their life, minding their business, and you just don't like them because of their beliefs, you're a fucking loser. What's up, Nico? Welcome in, G. I agree, but the problem with adding more parties, it would allow the extremists to actually take power. Yeah, because there obviously is a dilution of power for sure. Or a dilution of interest, which causes what's that quote? A dilution of power creates an extremist. Fuck. A dilution in choice creates extremists of power. That's it. What do you want for Christmas, Tyler? And what is your home address so I can send it to you? Nah, I appreciate it, homie. Just do a $1 donation and then I'll spend it on whatever you tell me to. I'm a lesbian married to a woman, and I'm actually quite conservative fiscally. I hate identity politics, and this trans stuff is nauseating to me. I think the victim mentality is root of problems. Yeah, it's kind of base, right? Jolly or KFC. I feel like there's not a good choice here, but I'm going to go KFC. Preach. I had a guy stop being my friend because I dropped college. He swore he wouldn't date a girl who didn't continue her education. Your friend's a fucking loser. The lobbyist rule. The problem with our country is that people make their victimhood their entire personality because they don't know who they truly are. That shit's so lame, bro. It's like, we all got problems. I have less problems than most people. Some people have less problems than me. Stop bitching. Relax. You know what I mean? I agree. Carrie Ann, you've been on fire, homie. Not gonna lie. The only issue I take with religion is when someone tries to force their belief. Yeah, that shit's so. I don't like that, bro. Like, I'm not big on that. And I do understand that, like, kind of the evangelist theory that you are. obligated to spread the word of gospel. Like, for example, in Christianity, in some capacity, many people believe they have a moral obligation and a spiritual obligation to evangelize and spread the word of the gospel. I do understand that. But I think that can be done in a respectful manner to where it's like someone can choose whether or not they accept your evangelism. And if it's no, stop. Like, that's their choice, right? What I don't like is oh, you're wrong because of that. That's problematic to me. I don't think that's the way in which a all-knowing being would handle that situation. I think that's personal ego. So I feel like it's more accepted to be an extremist nowadays. Family friend ties will be cut over differing views. Yeah, I agree. It's more accepted. I just don't think it's right. Lizard X is crazy. Let's go back to crypto, please. You guys can ask me whatever. I'll talk about anything. We're just gonna yap for a little while here. Lobbyists or termites in your system. Lobbyism is a crazy topic. It's like, how the fuck is that legal? But intelligence agencies also control a lot. Shout out you, Truth. The biggest profit short long that you ever had. I've never really made that much money off big longs and shorts. I mean, I've had years where I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from trading. But it's from micro doses. I've never been someone who just trades big. I just don't think it's a good idea. Religion. Nah, never that. There's a time and a place. Tyler speaking facts. Are you still buying your nutrition at gas stations? Be nice to me. I like M&Ms. I don't understand what's wrong. You never had one of these? Is it poison? Yeah. Oh, well. I like them. I still believe we're going bearish, unfortunately, with crypto. A lot of news and stuff says otherwise, but I'll just accept that good news equals dump and bad news equals dump. Facts. Didn't realize I was in a Candace Owens chat. Hey, we just yap about whatever in my chat, homie. Look into the iron law of oligarchy. That's interesting. Okay. Best music album of 2025. I'm not a music album type of guy. I like individual songs. No, I don't trade like Connor. Me and Connor have definitely different trading styles. Tyler, are you a Hawaiian? Sometimes I definitely will pull up to the gas station, cornrows out, wife beater on, baggy pants on, Nike slides on. I get looked at like one. So I guess so. Do you still hold stocks or you take crypto and stuff? Yeah, I have some stocks. This year I started a new stock portfolio. Actually, I have one that I obviously have through a financial advisor, but I do have a stock portfolio that I've been working on. It's honestly doing pretty decently. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but this is up. I started this one this year. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, started this one this year at 382 grand, and that one up 38,000. You guys might not be able to see this. Whatever. But yeah, up about 40 grand on my stock portfolio this year that I started. But the majority of my stocks are with a financial advisor because I don't feel like dealing with it. Someone calling themselves a Christian while focused on the Old Testament and ignoring the New Testament is crazy. I understand. At the same time, though, I do understand it. Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into that. We live in the greatest country in the world. Be thankful you're allowed to have a voice and a choice. See, Chris, all right, I'm not going to get too deep in it, but Chris is like the perfect example of someone who has their beliefs. Like, A+ level human being. I thought Rumo is big in the property major refinance of commercial property 20 said they cannot afford to refinance on how it defines Trump's agenda. The lobby to make lobbying legit GG easy. Next stream has to be a Nike Tech. All right. I don't know if we're gonna get to that. I don't even want to say that name because I think it does weird shit to your channel. I do indeed. Lower your brightness on phone to be able to see it, I think. Oh, maybe. Yeah, there you go. Yep, looking pretty decent. I know it might be backwards, but yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. I'm proud of it. Shout out you, Carrie Ann. Passive income, nice. How are you feeling about these treasury companies that's causing... It scares me. These treasury companies scare me because they make me get that smell. You know that fucking smell? These treasury companies give me that smell. And I don't know how to explain it, but they give me that like, something smells weird about that. What do you mean, how long should we wait? The hardest thing for me trading initially was knowing when to quit while I'm ahead. What's your advice on building discipline while trading? Create a strategy and stick to it. You have to create a strategy when you're not emotional so that you'll stick to it when you are emotional. You have to pre-plan. You have to pre-plan ahead. LGBTQRSTUVW X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Biden was against segregation and was against the civil rights movement in the 70s. Say the name, Tyler. Nah, G. I don't want to live in a world where facts don't matter. I don't either. Oh, Hagendall's in the building. What's up, G? Tuned into the charts and everything nowadays is just generic reggaeton, and that's weird, annoying, breath whispery with drones in the background. I hate music since COVID. I like clouds. Throw a quarter zip. Hey, the quarter zip shit's so fire though, bro. These dudes look good in quarter zips, man. Like not be like that. No Diddy. But I haven't said that on stream before. How'd you like that one? Oh, also, just thought about this. I know we're live on X. This is my first live stream on X. I'm just warning all of my X viewers. This is what happens at the end of my streams. We just get a little bit loose. So I hope you guys like it. First half of the stream, crypto. Second half of the stream, whatever the chat wants. You cannot trust any finance company, full stop. I agree to that to some capacity. Peace out, G. Ever lost a large sum? Yeah, I've lost like 100 grand at a time before. Big no Diddy on the quarter zip. If you have a chance, would you rather meet and greet with Elon Musk or Sailor? Elon Musk for sure. The Reckoning? No. I have been watching a show called Billions recently. It's like God level business show, by the way, like S tier. No one told me about that. Also, none of you assholes told me about magnesium glycinate and the fact that, or glycinate, I think it has to be able to see, but yeah, it's like the best sleep and stress relief supplement I've ever had. It's amazing. Appreciate y'all not telling me about it, assholes. I'm into the second. I'm on the first. I just finished the first episode of the Diddy documentary. It's kind of wild. Kind of goes to show how people are shaped by their environment. Now that we reached $93,000 to $96,000 range, do we need to close on a daily, or we need to close like a lot, like multiple days, even a week or two above it? Astor got listed. Oh, good. Did it? When? What did they just announce that? I trust capital. Oh, badass. Yeah, just released an hour ago. Let me quote tweet that. Badass. Hell yeah. Awesome. Very good. Love to see it. Move that little Astor bag over there then. Why not? Let's go. That's great news. It's great news. I also have a link to iTrust, by the way, guys. $100 funding bonus if you're interested. I do not, dude. Gabe, fuck off, dude. I do not like Arby's. 500K or dinner with Diddy. I'll take the dinner with Diddy, please. Thank you. Try magnesium L. What's that? I put it on my Instagram story. What's up, Crypto Taco? Welcome in, G. Billions in it. Wait, what's industry? Is that another one? CZ must be delighted for Astor, a man we can trust. Calm powder. Buy calm powder and thank me later. What's that? Eddie's usually give me some roast beef sandwiches is disgusting. I'd rather meet with Elon. Doing with Diddy gonna turn into 5 nights at Diddy's. Make it 5 months. Do you rather meet me? I think I could whip Diddy's ass if needed to. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that conversation. Cool, not too late. Ash Blunt, trust me, you are way too late. We are at that part of this live stream where people question why they're subscribed to me. You heard me, Jason. Don't make me say it again. All right, folks, let's ask some more questions. I got 7 minutes. I have a meeting. I have a meeting at 12:30. It's 12:03 now. Let's do like 8 more minutes, and then I got to jump. How about, do you rather meet and greet with Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos? Fuck. Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos for me. Diddy bites. I bite too. Any specs and or predictions on Telcoin? I don't really go too deep into it, to be honest. H2 tabs are fine. 80 including. What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Jason, go check my Instagram story. Had a meeting, couldn't tune in right away. Nah, this is the best part. Daddy would love to work. Dude, I would whip Diddy's ass. I unsubscribed from most crypto YouTubers because they muddied the waters, but this channel and chat had to stay. I'm glad. Honestly, I think sometimes the best and then the worst chat ever on earth, and that's all because of Jason. Where's Stein R at? What the hell is bro doing? Thoughts on Conor McGregor? Realize I live near where he grew up. He's cool, bro. Money and mental illness don't go together. Jeff Bezos or Donald Trump? Hmm. On one hand, is Jeff Bezos because as I'm developing a product and a company, I feel like Jeff Bezos has done one of the best jobs at actually creating a product that creates value for people, which is the industry I'm in. On the other hand, Trump has realized so many ways to like handle multiple things at once and many operations at once. But I feel like if I met Trump, Trump would spend majority of the time talking about himself and not what. I'd probably go Jeff Bezos. 2025 recap on YouTube. What do you mean? Diddy wouldn't fight, just put you in the backseat of the SUV with the open window. Top 5 viewer. Yeah, hell yeah, awesome. I DJ'd into something called Dessa AI. I don't know what I was thinking. My cook. I have no idea what that is. What did you always want for Christmas as a kid that you didn't get? I always wanted an electric chain set. No, I don't think anything. I think my parents basically always got me what I wanted, but I was reasonable. Like I don't think I asked for anything crazy. I don't know. I don't think. I don't think. He'd probably giggle to the point of making you so uncomfortable you leave the fight. I'd giggle back. Also, Calm is a magnesium powder for sleep. Get it? It's from Insomniac. All righty. A few more questions and I'm jumping off. I wanted a star screen. What is that? Star screen. Please don't be some crazy shit, bro. The transformer. Hell yeah, that's so valid. In your Discord, if do you have one-on-one personal advice? I can't remember if you said it before. Yeah, we do have the opportunity for one-on-one sessions. It is a little bit expensive, obviously. But yeah, there are opportunities, but it's a paid thing. Like that's it's a paid additional thing you have to do. You don't just get one-on-one sessions with me when you sign up for the school. I love Christmas. I love Christmas too. I just like giving gifts. I don't really give a shit about being given gifts. To be honest, it's kind of just like I've bought everything that I want, and the things that I want now are really like far fetched. Like, for example, when I move next year, I'm gonna buy a boat, but the boat's like $300,000 goddamn dollars. Like, that's what I want. So, yeah, I don't know. I just like giving people stuff because I feel like it's fun. But I feel like I have a lot of the things that I want, so it just doesn't feel that fun anymore. But I do like giving people gifts. If you had to sit through a fight, rather it be Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, or Tate versus Demore. Tate versus Demore because I think they're actually going to fight each other. Come to India. What part? Live stream Subway Run. I actually thought about that, but I can't do live streams. I talked to I have a manager, and and he told me that the IRL live stream runs aren't a good idea because someone's going to like try to kill me. I would have settled for a Prime. I remember I had one of those big Megatron beasties. Hell yeah. Christmas is goated, best holiday, no joke. I agree. My favorite is homemade cards from the kids. I insist. I can't wait to have kids and do Christmas with them. Think about how magical Christmas got to be when you're a kid. I'm gonna do some fire shit. I'm gonna have a projector outside the crib with a Santa Claus, like in the yard, like, "Hey, motherfucker, wake up! He's outside." You know, like, we gonna pull up the window and he's gonna like go past. I'm gonna put like dog shit. Like I'm gonna get my dogs the shit outside, and you get it. Yeah, fire, fire. Anyway, Peter. All right, bye, Peter. Peter, stop by more streams, bro. You're based as hell. I'm excited to have you here. Lewis Hamilton is your family. I don't think so, but if so, he could maybe buy the boat. Best Christmas dinner. What do you mean? Like things in the dinner? Your view on alts for 2026. Mid. Boat stands for bust out another 1,000. Big money pit. I know. But it's like if you got it, just do it. Why not? I don't think it's a money pit if you enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I have some shit that's money pits for show, but I enjoy them. So it's like, who cares? Is crypto pumping? Why are so many people joining the stream? Are y'all just chilling? I'm happy to chill with you guys. Kids making magical used to play reindeer noises. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna be fire, dude. I want 5 kids. Probably gonna only have like 2 or 3 though. Thanks for your stream, Tyler. I feel really positive about the market this week. Time to cook some chili and stare at my portfolio. Cheer. Peace out, Carrie Ann. See you later, G. When you draw your fib retracement zones, do you draw a new one? When do you draw a new one and on what time frame? It just depends on what I'm attempting to do. So if I'm trying to say, for example, Okay, let's hypothetically just use what we're seeing right now as an example. So if my goal is to look at this move and say, okay, at what point should this little retracement that we're in right now make a decision on the golden zone? I would draw it from the most recent regional low to the most recent regional high that we're retracing from. So what I would do is I would look at this, I would go on. I'd probably have to reduce my time frames to see it clearly, but I would say, okay, we have this high or this low, this high, this retracement. I'm going in with my Fibonacci's. I'm drawing in my low. I'm drawing in my high. And now I have my Fibonacci golden zone, which in this example would range between 93.6 and 90, $3,700. And then now I know the decision's made here. If we don't reverse off of this, we're probably going to capitulate back down to 93 to 93.4 to 93.2, somewhere right here. If we do reverse past this, obviously what we need to do is break through the regional or the structural resistance and then use that to start pushing back up towards the more macro golden zone, which would be from that high to this low, which would then be, of course, between 94.1 and 94.3. If that makes sense. So you're using the micro support to try to break through the more midterm resistance to obviously be able to extend up towards more macro extension levels. I have an entire video on the golden zones, by the way, on the channel. It's called go to my channel, go to the homepage, go all the way down. Is this one. This free tool, this free crypto tool changed my life, the golden zone. Watch that. Ribeye roast with baked potatoes, compound butter, all the veggies and desserts. Dude, I love a ribeye, but I just can't get past. Counting calories has been like the worst and best thing I've ever done because now I can't stop thinking about how many fucking calories are in everything, and ribeyes are so high. Sup from the flats. What's up, G? Where are you from? What part? Fuck my life, I'm late. What did I miss? We talked about the market for the first 45 minutes, and then the last 45 minutes we talked about Trump, religion, how people are fucking losers, whole bunch of stuff. So feel free to go watch. You will be in the best statistical investment and worst, haha, Bitcoin in a boat. Hell yeah. I'm down for that. They aren't if you can take care of them. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured. I start with full life cycle fib chart and work from there, major highs and lows and smaller fibs on a more local moves. Exactly. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for always be there for us. See you, buddy. Shout out from Indonesia. Shout out to you, homie. Appreciate you, G. Check out Solana. It's just retracing. We went over it earlier. Hold on, sorry. I'm getting a pretty important message here. Give me 1 second. I got to read something. All right. I got an important message. I'll go deal with that in a little while here. You know, that's one of the shittiest parts about business is you can never have fun. I'm just joking. You just have stuff that like that's kind of it's like kind of like a bit of a buzzkill message, but it's all good. How would you suggest setting trading goals? Is a dollar amount something that has been effective for you? Is there like another methodology? I set short-term goals, and I rarely used to set long. I don't trade much more. I don't really trade much anymore, to be honest. But what I used to do is that I used to set short-term goals and just see where I got from that. So my goal would be like, okay, every week I want 3 profitable trades, right? Or every week I want my win ratio to be 50-something percent, right? And so the goal would be that I'm working towards these short-term goals. And whatever that accumulates to is great. But what I would do is I would retrospectively create goals going forward. So I'd be like, okay, I set these short-term goals for the last 3 months. That accumulated to this. If I can do that again, but at higher scale, or maybe like a 1.5x or a 2x, then I can hit that target goal for a portfolio balance in the next 3 months under the right circumstances, right? And so it was more like work small, see what that accumulates to, and then use that to set forward-looking goals at a higher scale if you want to build up or scale down, if that makes sense. All good, all good, all good. My oldest doesn't like to go see Christmas lights, but my youngest loves it. Some kids suck. Hell yeah. What do you name your boat? Oh, I don't know. I never thought about that. I don't know. We nominate you for the Influencer Hall of Fame. This channel is Internet Go. I appreciate that. I feel like my channel's weird. Tyler getting insider info. Nah, I feel like my channel's weird because, like, I do feel like I have a good channel, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I don't follow the typical rules of YouTube, which is a part of the reason why, like, I don't know. I think I have an okay channel for sure. I'm proud of my channel. It's me. I just don't do the typical YouTube shit, and I feel like that's a part of the reason why my channel will maybe like never hit 1 million subscribers. But I honestly don't care that much. Like, fuck it, I'd rather just be me. Do you know any good trading bots, or would you suggest using them? I'm not a big trading bot guy personally, but if you do go watch a dude on YouTube named Crypto June, he talks about them a lot. Tyler, that's what makes this channel internet go up. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Hey, if you guys do want extra content from me, by the way, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitter, you already know this, obviously. But I do post on X a lot of stuff I don't post on YouTube. So, like, for example, I did, like I have this, I have some threads going out. I had like an entire thread go out the other day. I post a lot of extra content on X. It is linked down below, but you can watch my videos there. And I post on like some personal stuff, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, all that stuff. So feel free to go check it out. I'm trying to work on the X. I don't know if I'm doing that great a job at it, but I do like it. I have a good time with it. I like to just kind of document my thoughts. So feel free to go follow me there at Tyler Hill YT. Don't buy a boat, lease. I kind of just like buying stuff. All right, folks. Well, I hate to wrap it up here. I know we got like 1,000 people on this bad boy, but I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. I know we have some people on X watching, some people on YouTube watching. But anywho, listen, I appreciate you all for joining in. If you did just join in, remember the first 45 minutes of the stream, we went over the entire crypto market, what's happening, why the market's pumping and much more. Second half of the stream, we talked a little bit more about some personal stuff, answered some questions, stuff like that. While you guys are heading out, one thing that I do ask is to check out some links down below. We are doing a really big giveaway over on BTCC. If you sign up, deposit, and start trading today, up to $500 for 3 of you, and up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards. In addition to that, you guys also can go check out iTrust Capital. They did actually just list Aster, which is really cool. Feel free to go check that out. You're going to get a $100 funding bonus if you start a retirement account with them. If you do want to get more personal access to me and join a community of growing, thriving crypto traders and investors, feel free to check out the school down below and go read some of the testimonials in the link down there as well. And don't forget, you can follow me over on Twitter, which is linked down below also, where I post a bunch of extra stuff. But all in all, I really do appreciate you guys for joining in. It is always, always, always a good time with you. I hope I didn't, offend too many people. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, everybody.